In this video, you'll learn how to display additional text on Rollover using just CSS. Here we have my home page and my navigation has a rollover, but we can make it more interesting. One of the things that I'd like to do is add some text when you roll over the navigation elements to tell people more about what they're going to get in those pages. So let's go to the HTML. Whenever you're going to add text using CSS, you have to have the text somewhere on the page already. There are other ways to do this using jQuery and JavaScript where you don't have the text displaying on the page, but I like to do it with JavaScript, and so you need to have that text somewhere that the JavaScript can affect. So I'm going to add a span tag in the two elements that I want to have information about. And inside them, I'm going to say what I want it to display. So here I'll say, we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And here I'll add a span for the sword fighting services. We also do daggers. And then I want to make sure that I indicate that these links have a special thing. Now, you don't necessarily need this because most anchors aren't going to have a span in them necessarily, but this way you just verify that for sure. So I'm going to give this a class of more and the other one a class of more. Now if I reload the page, obviously the text that I added in the span is now part of the link, which isn't really what we want. We want that to be hidden. So let's go back and start styling it with the CSS. So the first thing I want to do is style that span to hide it. So we're going to add, it's in the nav, it's an anchor with a more class, and then it's a span. And we want that to be display none. So now if we reload, they're gone again, but of course you can't see them. So that's not useful. So let's make them appear on mouse over. First, we'll make sure that the A links in the navigation are going to display correctly by giving them a position of relative and a Z index of 24. That makes it that they're going to appear higher than a lot of other things on the page. And then of course the hover is going to be even higher than that. Just one, but that's enough to make it appear and not be buried underneath the navigation. And then let's style the span. Notice that I have an a.more, in other words, any anchor with a class of more, hover. So when you're hovering over those anchors, the span inside of it should have these displays. So first we want it to be display of block. We want it to appear above the navigation. So we want to have the position of absolute, and we'll say we want it to be at the top, a negative 20 px, we'll say. We'll make it bold, and we'll give it a width of 300 pixels. Now let's save the document and then reload, and nothing changes because they're still hidden because we haven't done anything. If we mouse over this one, it doesn't have a span, so it doesn't get anything special. When we mouse over the contact, as you can see, it now says we are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right above it. Sword Fighting Services also says we also do daggers, right above it. So that's how you can show additional text when you roll over links using just CSS.